Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be a review, an actual review, not a first impression, not a try on, not a me doing my makeup. It's going to be a review on the Anastasia Sultry palette. I keep wanting to say subculture. No matter what, I keep wanting to say subculture. So it is the Sultry palette, and I am kind of confused on what to tell you. I mean, I have my thoughts straight and I know what I think about it, but I want to make sure that it comes across as clear as possible because it can be a little confusing. So just so you know, you might leave here unsure too. So I'm gonna try to make it as clear as possible though. I'm gonna give you every single thought that comes to my mind, and I'm gonna try to keep it in order so that way you understand exactly what I mean. So you guys, I'm a little confused on what to tell you simply because the palette alone is so good. Like, it is such a good palette, and when I say good, I mean I am not so and so on maybe it's okay, but no, there are no buts. This is a very good palette. It's just so kind of hard. I was gonna say so hard, but it's kind of hard to work with because the shadows in here, especially the ones that you're gonna work with first, maybe the mattes, unless you do an all shimmer look, hey, that's up to you. But if you do use your mattes first, the mattes are like a clay matte, like a clay powder. I know it sounds kind of weird, but whenever I was first swatching these, like on the brush, they pick up super intense. They grab that color like no other. But whenever you're applying it on your eyes, it is not that easy to blend out. If you pack it on, beautiful. It will pack on evenly. It will pack on the color that it shows in the pan, and it will pack on like a packing on color. But whenever you go to blend these out, these kind of like stop you from blending it out. Not that it won't let you blend it out, because you can. I did today, but it takes more time. It takes more because it's not a matte powder matte. It's more of like a clay matte. That's the only way that for me, that's the only way that I feel like I can describe it to you, is like a wet matte, if that makes any sense. Like, it has nothing to do with me setting my primer, because I do use primer whenever, I mean, I use primer all the time. I use a concealer, but I don't use a setting powder whenever I'm going to pack it on, and I do use a setting powder whenever I'm going to blend it out. Well, regardless of whatever I did, it was still like that clay type of powder. And I know it sounds like, what? You know, you have to swatch it, I guess. Or you can watch that video and you can kind of tell in the swatches that whenever I was blending it out, it would take me a little bit longer than usual. Like, to me, talking about new palettes, the Too Faced Gingerbread palette and the Naked Cherry palette, those are so creamy that they're easy to blend. These are so creamy that they're like super intense and clay-like, and that's the only way that I can describe it. Like, I hope I'm not confusing you. So there's nothing negative about what I'm saying, that it is like intense. Nothing negative about that. That is great. Like, that is what you want from a palette. You want it to show up. Another thing that I feel about this palette is that it is a glam palette. Now, I know that Norvina, well, I'm just gonna like paraphrase from what I've seen or heard, not heard because I haven't heard her say it, but like read, is that she was inspired by, back then, whenever she would see makeup artists at MAC or just any makeup artist, specifically MAC though, it was like the smoky eyes, and that is exactly what you can do with this palette. You get so many shimmer shades in here, and you get those intense tones for you to create a smoky eye. I think that if you are the everyday wear, like you want to wear your makeup for school or you want to wear it to work, I don't think that this palette is very wearable like that. Like, yes, you can create it by using maybe this light brown, a little bit of shimmer on the eyelid, a little bit of dark brown on the outer corner. Of course you can, but if that's your overall looks all the time and this is the only palette that you're gonna buy, I don't recommend you get this palette for that. I say just go with a different Anastasia palette, maybe the soft glam, but this one is a full glam look. I feel like this is such a good palette for a makeup artist who's going to do prom looks, maybe even wedding looks. Like, you can do so many glam looks for this if you just do makeup randomly, like for people to go to parties or to go out at night or for birthdays, things like that. Also, this is a cool toned palette. Nothing wrong with that either, but it's obvious that it is. So if you are not a cool toned person, I don't recommend this palette to you either, because you're not going to get any warm tones in here. And even though this one looks light and this one looks light, whenever you apply it on your eyes, it is not as light as it looks like in the pan. It really does just like show up like intense. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you the look that I'm wearing right now. So the first color that I use is actually Slate, and I accidentally made a mistake because I wanted to use Twig. Twig is the one that I used on the other eye, which is the cool tone brown down here. This one is a light brown shade, and that's the one that I used on this eye first. But I made a mistake because I don't know how I was holding it, that I grabbed the gray one. So please tell me that my microphone is connected. Yes, it is. Okay, so I'm like, I already said so much. If I repeat this, I am going to confuse you even more in the next take. So I applied this one all over the eyelid, and then I went ahead and I applied it Twig on top, and I was like, let me just try to make it as even as the other eye, because like I said, I got the wrong shade on my eye. So I went ahead and I applied Twig, and even though this is a pretty dark gray tone, this one still kind of covered it up a little bit, which it just goes to show that that one is not as light as it looks. So I went ahead and I applied that color right on top of that one, and then I went a little bit above so that color can peek through a little bit more. And then after that, I blended it out with the color Birch, which is this light brown up here, the lightest shade in the palette, well, the lightest of the mattes. And I blended it out, and as you build up this color, it does start to look a little darker as well. All right, so then I did a cut crease, and like I said, I was trying to stay kind of light, but I didn't want to use the silver one in today's look, so I applied the silver one right here all over the eyelid. And then on the outer corner of the eye, I went in with the color Slate, and I think that's why I confused it at first, but I applied that one on the outer V of the eye, or the outer corner of the eye, and I blended it into the silver. And then I wanted just a little bit of pop of color, and the only one that is colorful is the pink one, which is kind of like the color of my shirt, and I applied that on the lower lash line. And then I went in with black eyeliner and I blended the purple into it, so that way it just looks a little bit smoky but still colorful. So I didn't want to add any black, I didn't want to smudge it out with any dark brown. Sometimes I do that, most of the time I do that actually. I blend out, I smoke out the eyeliner with the dark shade, but this time I was like, nope, I am just going to use the pink one alone, or else it's just gonna look dark under there, and I didn't want too much darkness underneath. So I just applied the red one, and then on the inner corner I went in with the rosy tone here. This is called Rose Quartz, and that's the one that I have on my inner corner highlight. After all of that, and after I applied my eyeliner, I did use the color, the black color here in the corner, and I just lightly, with the small little pointy brush, not even that pointy, but just with a small little brush, I started from the eyeliner and I just started sweeping it towards the top into the gray, into the silver, and all of that, just so it can really blend in there. And that is how I created this smoky little effect on the outer corner. This black is like charcoal. It is like pretty much charcoal in a pan. It is so intense. It is crazy intense. So whenever you just touch it, I mean, it feels really soft. You have to swatch this if you get a chance. And whenever you just use it like that, I mean, that looks dark already. I was gonna say it's not that much. No, it is. But whenever you apply it on your eye and you pack it on, oh my god. Let me show you a clip of me putting this on my eye, and I was like, this thing is never gonna come off. It did. It was easy to remove. It wasn't too hard. It didn't stain my eyes or anything. But it is so black. Let me clean this off. But this one is the, I think, I'm not even gonna say I think, I know that this is the blackest black eyeshadow that I have in my entire collection. I have the Lorac palettes, the Lorac Pro, and I thought that black was like intense. No, I was wrong. This one is super black. You don't even need to apply over and over. You don't need to build it up. It is like super black from the beginning. So yeah, there's nothing wrong with the palette. There is nothing that I think is like, oh, you know, there should have been this or should have been that. I mean, it's just called sultry. Like, that is it. The palette is glitter on the outside. Like, it is what you expect it to be. It's just not the everyday palette, for sure, 100%. I mean, if you want to wear this one very, very lightly, like barely there with the darker tones, then yes, you can make it an everyday palette. Or if you just wear, you know, a little bit of shimmer on your eye for the daytime, but you want to get the palette because you also like to do glam looks, then yes, definitely get the palette. Like, there's so many reasons that you should get the palette because it is a good one. If you're not sure about it, swatch it first. Don't even buy it online. Swatch it first at the store and then make up your mind there, because like I said, it is really just glam. And I feel like I kind of been saying like, it's a glam palette, it's a glam palette, like in a negative way. Not at all. I think it's beautiful. Like, I think you can create very beautiful glam eyeshadow looks. So I know like the video seems super serious. I can hear myself, and I mean, I know what I'm saying. And my point is not to tell you I love this palette. It is beautiful. I think it's amazing and super pigmented, and I think you must get it. Like, my really my point is to tell you this is what I think about it. I think it would be good for you, but it won't be good for you. And you know, you take from it whether you feel like, hey, you know, whatever she said makes sense to me, I don't need it, or it makes sense to me, this is exactly what I'm looking for, this is exactly the type of palette that I'm eyeing. I like the palette. I like this one. I like the cherry palette. I like the gingerbread palette, but not all of them are ones that you have to buy, you know? You just kind of have to see, these are the colors that I'm looking for. I only want to buy one palette this holiday season, or this is what I want to ask for Christmas. This is exactly the one that I'm looking for, and that is my point. I love them. I can love them all day long. I can love all of them. They're all pretty. I'm excited. They're all new. They're all exciting to see for the first time, or they're all exciting to buy and get and arrive and to show you. I can be super excited. I can create a beautiful look, but am I gonna use it all the time? Not me, but like, are you gonna use it all the time? Yeah, you saw my video, it's cute, but is it for you? You know what I mean? But yeah, guys, I hope you still enjoyed today's video. I hope you still enjoyed today's serious, super serious makeup talk. And that is pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see y'all in my next one. Bye.